Hey everyone, this is Martin, and I'm back at the video editing desk. And today we're going to cover the one subject, or at least part of the subject that I know a lot of you have been just waiting for. It's like, how do you make money? How do I make money on my project, on my property? Whether we're talking the homestead, off-grid, recreation property, or like our kids are doing on their boat. It's like, how do you start turning that life or the activities that you're doing into some income that can help support the lifestyle that you're choosing. And before we get into that, though, I am going to cover a couple of really quick things. First of all, if you've not done so yet, go to the bottom if you're a new viewer and you haven't done this, go to the bottom under the video here and click the subscribe button and the notification bell. When you do the bell, click it to all notifications, and that way you'll continue to get videos on this. And we want to just make sure that if you're finding value in this, that you're not missing out on any of it. The other thing is that we have got, well, two things actually. There's we today, which is Friday, I believe it's the 10th, we are finally closing on one of the properties that's going to enable us to get onto the next project property. And that one is just basically waiting for the first one to close out. So I think that's going to happen actually a lot faster than what I originally thought it would. So, I mean, we may be into that property within a week or two, possibly. So anyway, that's getting excited. The other thing is that I've spoken with one of my bankers, because we are going to have to do some financing on this, and he's going to meet us down at the property this coming week. And so we're going to go through a lot of Q&A with him, questions and answers on, when you're, trying to establish a piece of property, or either you're going to live or you're going to run some recreational business opportunities on. I'm going to have him answer questions. I'm going to ask questions. I guess if you have questions that you want me to ask him when we do that, put them in the comments below. And I'll make sure to get those and ask those questions specifically to him. And we're going to record those, and that's going to become part of one of these sessions. Anyway, with that out of the way, hey, this is Martin, and I am going to break into this video to let you know that this subject lasted way too long for one segment, so I'm going to break it up into three. And this is part one of the income producing on your property. And so when you get to the end of this, look for part two and part three. I am going to talk a little bit about earning money, or creating some income streams with your property. And again, I'm kind of building this in the context of a recreational type of property, and but that's going to include really just about anything that has to do with your homestead, or your off-grid, or your recreation property, camp kind of life. One of the things that, I apologize for this, but we're going to do an Economy 101 kind of a lesson here. And I guess it's going to be part of the capitalist or capitalism kind of a lesson here real quick. And, I heard one time, way back in my my early business career, that nobody makes any money until someone sells something. And there's a lot of truth to that. And the whole economy, and the economy from your perspective as someone who needs income streams, okay, revolves around the fact that someone is providing goods or services to someone else who's willing to pay for those. And that's no big secret, but a lot of times I know a lot of people that will get kind of bound up with that whole idea of selling something. And you really have to kind of get over that if you have a problem with that. And, or you're really going to struggle in all areas of earning income. And, one thing that I want to probably try to really emphasize is that, as you're thinking of, well, what would people be willing to exchange their money to me for, in exchange for something that I have to offer them? And that can be very simple. We've kind of turned that a little bit into, we've turned it into a business. And so you have really the opportunity. Some of the homesteads, let's just use some of that. I know that I actually know some people that run homesteads, a couple of them have a flock of chickens, and their big thing is selling eggs. They can't make a living selling eggs. I mean, you'd have to go really big scale for that. I know a lady that I've known for probably close to, well, at least 20 years, maybe close to 30 years. And several years ago, she began a farm raising goats. I mean, and her whole intention was to create a goat dairy farm. And she was successful at that. What she discovered, though, in the process of that, as she started providing dairy products to customers, is that the regulation on it was pretty stiff. I mean, she had overcome that, but still, she had to deal a lot with that. She discovered a couple of years into her project that it was a better solution for her if she was providing goat products or goat dairy products that were not for consumption. Like, I mean, she made the milk and the ice cream and the cheeses and things like that. And she began to learn that she could make hand soaps and lotions and creams and things like that, and actually, get away from a lot of the regulation on it. And then also, it was much more lucrative to her. So she pretty much switched her whole dairy over from goat milk and goat dairy kind of consumption things over to hand creams and soaps and stuff like that. Don't ask me what that all entails, because I have no idea about the goat milk dairy industry. Okay. It's just, I know her and I know what she's doing with that. And she's actually becoming very successful with that. One of the other things. So, I mean, if you're looking at that, I mean, I do know some people that also, they set up little greenhouses around where there's restaurants that have a emphasis on organically grown herbs and vegetables and things like that. There's a pizza place close by here that had a little greenhouse set up, and the people that managed that, they came in and tended it. And then the people with the restaurant, they could come out and harvest those things. So, I mean, that was an income source for those. That was, I thought, kind of a unique one. So with that sort of agricultural thing, there's all that traditional stuff. And so all of those are valid. But a lot of those are, they don't pay the whole way. So you have to find other ways to support that as well. And then obviously we're in the resort business. So we have lodging and all of the things that kind of goes along with that in the way of the amenities. And there for a while we had the marina, which had boat rentals and fuel sales and things like that. So, I mean, there was those things. We had a tackle shop. I'm going to cover a little bit of that later. And I'm also going to throw in my disclaimer that I'm not trying to sell you. I'm going to show you some things, but I'm not trying to sell you those things. I will put links down below the video here if you're interested in looking at them, but really don't go buy them because you think that I'm trying to sell them to you, but I'm just going to use those as examples. We have, and this is something that, depending on what you're doing, whether it's the homestead, off-grid, the resorts, any of that kind of stuff that has to do with recreational property or a recreational type of a business, you're in a unique position that you're doing things that people really aspire to, or people really. So when in my circle, there's always been this, when we started doing the resort thing, there's always been this big group of people that follow what we're doing, that just, they kill to be in the same position that we're in. And I mean, it's not without work and it's not without risk, but at the same time, we're kind of living a lifestyle that a lot of people aspire to or wish they would be able to involve themselves in. I can tell you that if you have a property that's a homestead, if you have an off-grid lifestyle kind of a property, for every one of you that's out there, there's hundreds of people that are looking in on you that saying, I wish I could do that. And a lot of times the only way that they have to really experience that is through someone that's actually doing it. That's why I wish I could tell on Facebook, for example, some of the Facebook groups, how many people are actually doing what the group is about, and how many people are just on the outskirts of it looking in saying, I wish I could do that. And I know that I'm confident that it's heavily favored in the people that are watching versus the people that are doing. So if you're doing that thing, first of all, I want to commend you on following your dream. It's something that a lot of people just don't have within them to, take that step or take that plunge and do. So, but because of that, you are in a unique position to offer something to them that they want. One of the things that we'll be doing when we get our next property set up, we're going to take, a little bit of the principles from our resort business, and we're going to apply it there, because we're going to give people the opportunity to come in and experience that lifestyle right on our property by renting out some lodging on there. Now we're going to keep it very limited. I don't want to have just people there all the time, but we are going to open up weekends and some opportunities for possibly some, construction workshops or things like that, where people can actually come in and stay in a cabin and participate in that lifestyle for, for a short time. And so there's nothing wrong with being able to do that. I mean, if you don't want people around you ever, then that would be a problem. But we even have something for that, because later in this video, I'm going to give you one of the most unique opportunities that I've seen in years. That's just something that's pretty new. Hey, this is Martin again, and this is the end of part 1. And if you have not done so yet, go to the bottom of the screen here under the video and click the subscribe button and the notification bell, and you'll be sure to not miss anything that we're sending out.